Flock members, if you want to become truly elite, for just $1 a month, you too can become an elite bad bird. Check out my Patreon account. Link is in the description.
Hello, my flock. Badraven back again. I am going to start a series of reviews that I hope my fans will really enjoy. I know I enjoy these movies so well. I wanted to do all of them, get them all in like I did the Halloween ones I did last year. These will, of course, be, by the description. Well, the first one will be Friday the 13th. This movie has a big effect on me because it was like what started me really getting into the horror genre. I know I'd watched Halloween before this one, but this one really took me off because I was about like 13 years old and I really started liking slasher movies, and this one was the pinnacle of that. That's why on my Badraven channel screen you see me and Andrew with Jason at the Scarefest. I love the movie. I love Jason. I love all aspects of this movie. So I'm going to do a series of reviews of all the movies, starting with Friday the 13th. We've got on the calendar a Friday the 13th on April, and this year we got a July Friday the 13th. So I'm going to try to squeeze all these reviews in sometime here in the next month. Maybe one a week, maybe 2 a week, just whatever I can get out. Maybe more, maybe a little less, but we're going to try to get all the review all of them. Friday the 13th, part 1, 2, all the way to the remake. Okay, without further ado, this review is, of course, of Friday the 13th. And it came out in 1980. I don't have to look down and find that out, but I did. And I know it was directed by Sean S. Cunningham. I have met Sean S. Cunningham. I have talked to him personally. I have shook his hand. I went to Scarefest 9, I think, and got his signature. I watched some of other videos of Scarefest and see where he signed my Friday the 13th the poster. And I talked to the man. He's a wonderful director, wonderful person. Was really nice to me and my son. Can't say anything else better about it. But Sean S. Cunningham, if you're out there, I appreciate everything you've done to make my life worthwhile on the Friday the 13th franchise. Alright, we got the writer is Victor Miller and Sean S. Cunningham. And the stars are. Now, these stars were not that big of stars back in the day, but this movie kind of catapulted all of them. You got Mrs. Voorhees, which is the late deceased Betsy Palmer. She does a tremendous Mrs. Voorhees. Crazy. I got to tell you, this is going to be a spoiler review. So I'm going to tell you all about the movies. If you have not watched Friday the 13th, don't watch this video until you've watched it. But this is definitely going to have spoilers. But Betsy Palmer plays a crazy, wild Mrs. Voorhees, top of the line actress. We have Adrienne King as Alice. Wonderful actress too. Saw her at the Scarefest too, but I didn't be able to get her autograph because ran out of money. Jennifer Taylor is Marcy. Robbie Morgan is Annie. Kevin Bacon. Yeah, I know everybody knows that he disowns this movie, that he was ever in it, but it helped launch his career, whether he likes it or not. Kevin Bacon, do not be ashamed of this movie. It is a testament of your acting in this movie. I liked you in this, and he plays Jack. Harry Crosby is Bill. Laura Bartram as Brenda. I think she may be deceased too. Mark Nelson as Ned. Peter Brower as Steve Christie. And we got to definitely tell about Crazy Ralph. Crazy Ralph was played by Walt Gorney. He's the late actor too. But that's the main ones I want to talk about in this movie. Like I said, it came out in 1980, and I was a young fella. About, like I said, 12, 13 years old, and I was afraid to watch this movie without closing my eyes. Every time they would get a scene where a knife was going to kill somebody, I'd like cover my eyes or look the other way, and I found out that turning my head away made the movie scarier because I would hear the screaming, the blood-curdling screaming, and the crunching of the bone and the stabbing of the knife and everything. And it would just build up in my mind, because your mind can make things scarier than anything that Hollywood ever put out. And it would catapult the fear in me. So one day I was at the house and I said, I'm going to watch this movie. I'm not going to turn my head. I'm going to watch it. Like you get on a roller coaster. I'm going to ride this roller coaster. I'm going to throw my hands up. I'm going to go down the hills and not worry about falling out or anything that makes you scared of a roller coaster. Well, me looking at the pictures, I'm going to look at this picture. I don't care how scary it is. And I did that, and I found out it wasn't as scary watching it as it was when I actually looked at it and turned away, because my mind would make it scarier. So that, even though it still was scary, don't get me wrong, it still scared me as a kid. I have a video on here where me and Chloe and my son Andrew, my niece Chloe, went to see it on the big screen. First time I'd ever seen Friday the 13th on the big screen ever. And I was blown away by it. Even though it was dated, I still love seeing it on that big screen and hearing that sound. And they had it pumping out pretty good. But getting to the movie, this movie, I don't know if you've not seen it, it's basically a mother's love for her son. Betsy Palmer being Mrs. Voorhees, love for Jason Voorhees. He is killed accidentally at the camp back in the 50s, I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's 60s. Don't quote me on that date. He kind of gets away from the counselors that are fooling around, what they do in these kind of movies, the teenagers, where they were doing that. And he got away from him and he drowned. And the mother took it on herself. You don't know this when you're watching the movie. You don't know who's killing the people there. But the mother takes it on herself to try to keep the camp closed. Well, they keep trying to open it. She does several things to it you don't see on screen, like poison the water or make the water bad, and tries to burn the place down. Sometimes they talk about. They don't know who's doing it, but somebody had tried that. Well, the Christie family keeps opening it back up, trying to make it a camp again. Well, these new teenagers come into town and they try to get the camp started, or not have any kids there yet. They're just repairing the cabins, fixing the water, painting all the different sites, and they're putting up all the different things. They're going to do like the archery set where they shoot the bowls and stuff, and they're getting all the things ready for the kids. Well, at the beginning, the girl named Annie, she is coming to become a cook, and she's like backpacking it up through there, and she gets a ride from a gentleman in there, and he keeps telling her about Count Blood, and she runs into Crazy Ralph, which tells her that you're all doomed, you're going to die and all that, but she still goes. But she says she's not afraid of ghosts. Well, she gets picked up, little do we know at the time, by Mrs. Voorhees. She pretty much tries to bail out on Mrs. Voorhees, and Annie does, and Mrs. Voorhees catches up with her and slits her throat. So we get that's a pretty good practical effect. Where Tom Savini did the all the blood and killing special effects in this. He was at Sierra Fest. Didn't get his autograph either. I wished I could have awarded it all the people I wanted to, but he was there. But he did the great practical effect of the next bleed, like she's been slashed. The one by one, the counselors meet their demise. I could say I don't want to go into every graphic detail, but they have some really super kills for the time period. You got to think back to the 80s, when a lot of wasn't any CGI, so it was good that they all the practical effects because they were very believable. The Kevin Bacon part with the arrow through the throat on the bed was top notch. The blood streaming out of there, really cool practical effect. They did everything imaginable. Then when you actually find out who the killer is, the fight scenes between Betsy Palmer, so Jason, Mrs. Voorhees, Alice, which is played by Adrian King, they have a great fight scene that lasts a really long time. Get to see the decapitation of Mrs. Voorhees by Alice. Great blood, gore scene and like that in it. I was trying to think of some of the other kills. Mr. Christie bites dust to try and get back to camp. He leaves the camp to get supplies and runs into a rainstorm. Gets hung up, but ends up getting stabbed. The girl in the archery, Laura Bartman, gets impaled by off the archery range with an arrow. Super ways, come up with some super ways of getting people killed. Some are off screen, some are not, some are done right there. Like one that plays Marcy, Jennifer Taylor, she died with the axe to the head. Kind of show that with the light, the axe hitting the light, causing it to ricochet, and then you can see the axe plans in her head. Still a cool effect for the time. Bill, you think they kind of make the Bill character of Harry Crosby look like the killer through the most of the movie. Him being pretty much stabbed and stuck to the back of the door of the generator room was really neat, really well done. And just to build up the suspense of each person, because you don't see them, the other people don't know what's happened to them, like the Alice character and the Bill character are kind of one of the last two left, and they just kind of come up on the camp, and they find little things, find an axe in the bed, something, they find little warning signs, they don't know where the people are, and then as he gets killed and then Alice has to find her way, she finds them one by one, hanging from trees. All kinds of great stuff that they hadn't done at the time. It was one of the first movies they employed those type of different kills and being able to find them. Halloween had done a little bit of it, but this one was, several different people, not just a few. I can't say enough about this movie. So what maybe, like I said, love slasher movies. Well, I always love Friday the 13th, the series. I've got it on Blu-ray. I've got a few copies of things on DVD. Used to have the whole collection on VHS. Like a stupid person, I sold them. I wish I had the originals back. Maybe someday I'll find them again, like I did my Halloween collection. If you like slasher movies, and I know this is an old movie, you'll love Friday the 13th. Graphic, so if you're a young kid, you might want to wait until you're a little older to watch it. But nowadays, kids have seen such graphic stuff. Walking Dead is worse as far as realism. You have no problem with these movies. They were dated a little bit, but I love them. I will always love them. Put down your comments of when you watched it for the first time, how young you were, or how old you were, what you thought, the feelings of. See, everybody gets the trivia wrong. They think Jason's the killer in this, and it's his mother. So they kind of tricky with that. I think that's cool that it starts out. And like they said, they didn't plan on making any. It's going to be like an anthology, kind of like they were going to do with Halloween. They were going to make different Friday the 13th movies. But when they seen how popular that was, that's why they resurrected Jason from the lake and was able to spawn him on to even more sequels. So that was kind of neat how they kind of took that and that made that Friday the 13th the Jason storyline. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought about the movie when you watched it the first time. Are you a crazy fan like me and love the Friday the 13th saga and can't wait to watch the next one? There's supposed to be a new one coming out sometime. They scrapped the old one. I heard it was going to be pretty bad, and I'm glad they did. Hope they put a little more time in it because it's going to be hard to live up to the classics for me. I'm the first ones. The last one's probably not a classic as the first. But if they try to make another reboot, it's going to be hard to live up with how it is in our brains as fans, how we enjoyed it back then. It's hard to live up to that. But tell me what you think, and leave a like and share this video with anybody that likes classic 80s stuff. I got classic 80s movies reviews on here. Like I said, I'm going to do the rest of the Friday the 13th franchise. Please come back and watch those. I've got other 80s movies out there, videos that you can watch. And we got to do some modern stuff too. So I've got all different types of movies I love, and I appreciate you coming and watching them all. Just remember that the Badraven is your friend, and we're always looking out for good movies for you to watch and do reviews for you, so you'll go out and not waste your hard-earned money on some bad ones. But I know everybody likes different stuff, so you may not like what I like. Also, we got a Patreon account, just $1 a month. You can become one of the first Elite Bad Birds. I'll put your name at the end of my videos and say you are the Elite Bad Bird, and maybe we'll have other people join and we'll have a whole group. Everybody's a flock member, but you can become an Elite Bad Birds for just $1 a month. Just check out the Patreon account in the link in the description, and you'll see where to go and how to get onto that for the Badraven. I would really appreciate it if you did. And we're going to let you go, and we'll talk to you later. And always, bye.